Good morning, House of Prayer family. This is Sharon, and I'm here to bring you Nothing is Impossible with God. Keep believing. Many of you watching this video are under tremendous pressure. You're going through a time of great stress. By the winds and waves of life have shaken you to your core. The life you are living just isn't what you imagined it would be. You never thought you would be where you are right now, and it seems like the more you try, the worse it gets. It points you to cry out to God and say, God, how can I win? You pray, and the situation gets worse. You cry, and the hole gets deeper. Now, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever been trapped between a rock and a hard place? Have you ever had to carry a burden all on your own when no one else knows what you are going through? When you pretend you're okay in front of family and at work or at school? When everyone around you thinks your life is perfect? But secretly, you were being overwhelmed by the stress of your situation. You were being crushed by the pressure you feel. It's getting harder to breathe. It's slowly eating you away. There is a woman in the Bible in Mark chapter 5, verse 25 through 34, who was stuck between a rock and a hard place. She had the issue of blood 12 years. She had spent all of her money and went to every doctor, and she had tried everything she could to get well, but nothing helped. Her situation got worse. Then she heard Jesus was passing through her town. Like most people in her town, she heard the stories of the great miracles Jesus had done, turning water into wine, healing the blind, raising the dead. Something moved inside of her, and she said to herself, if I can get to Jesus and just touch the hem of his garment, I will be healed. Now the problem was there was a great crowd around Jesus, and it was nearly impossible to get to Jesus. But this didn't discourage her. She started making her way through the great multitudes of people when she finally got to Jesus. And she reached out and touched the edge of his robe. Jesus stopped sudden and said, "Who touched me?" His disciples were confused and said, "Master, the people are crowded around. A lot of people have touched you." But Jesus declared, "Someone touched me, for I know that power has gone out from me." Now, what was the difference between the issue of blood and the other thousands of people that had touched Jesus? The difference was her faith. He says in Mark 5:34, "Daughter," Jesus said, "your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be free of your affliction." Faith is the answer. There is nothing more powerful than your own faith. Your faith has made you whole, Jesus said. The only thing that would turn your situation around is your faith. In the life of everybody, your faith will have to stand on its own 2 feet. All you need is the faith of a mustard seed. It does not take great to believe in great faith to believe in a God who never fails. I wish I could tell this to you individually, that God is faithful. He has never failed. Failure is not in his nature, and he will not fail you. The God of this fight is still Jehovah Jireh. This book clearly states he will make you the head and not the tail. He will make you above and not below. He will give you vineyards you didn't plant and wells you didn't dig. He will plant you of living waters. So whatever you do shall prosper. Only believe in the God of this Bible. There is nothing more powerful than your faith. Yes, you have been praying, but do you have faith? Yes, you've been fasting, but do you believe? Real faith can grab God's attention in heaven and move him into action on your situation. Mark 5, verse 36. Do not be afraid, just believe. God has not left you. God is with you. You are going to make it. When you think you can't take it anymore, or another step, when you can't live another day, when you think you can't take another disappointment, reach out in faith to God that wins. He holds the 7 seas in the palm of his hand. He calls the stars by name. He measures the heaven with the span of his hand. He is the rock of your salvation. He is the cornerstone, precious, and lift in Zion. He is my shelter in the storm. He is my high tower, my fortress, my deliverer in my time of battle. He is the light of the world. The lady with the issue of blood had to fight and push her way through the great crowd of people to get to Jesus. The crowd represents fear, death, and failure, things that didn't work out. Thoughts will tell you you will always be in this situation. God will never help someone like you. The crowd can even represent past failures. For you to have faith in God, you will need to fight through some things. You will need to fight death. You will need to fight any insecurities. Fight through all unbelief. Fight through past defeats. Nothing was going to stop this woman. She was focused with a clear goal in mind. No matter how big the crowd got or how loud it became, no matter how many times she got pushed and fell down, even her own suffering wasn't going to stop. The fact that she was unclean, or touching anyone was forbidden. None of it ever crossed her mind because she was focused on Jesus. You will need a bulldog tenacity just like this woman and say nothing will stop me in believing in God. Let every man be a liar, but let God be true. Mistakes are not going to stop me. Unbelief is not going to stop me. The past is not going to stop me. Pain is not going to stop me. Failure is not going to stop me. Doubt is not going to stop me. Fear is not going to stop me. Uncertainty is not going to stop me. People are not going to stop me, and I am not going to stop me. I will have faith in God. But we live by faith and not by sight. I don't think we understand the importance of believing in God or how highly God regards faith. It is impossible to please God without faith. God will never be happy with you unless you believe in Him. So have faith in God, and in the end, you can say, 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. Your faith is able to see the unseenable. Your faith is able to transcend time and look past your problem and look into the future. Faith is complete and utter confidence. Faith is choosing to believe and not to doubt. Faith can see the end from the beginning. Faith does not look at the current circumstances, but faith lives in a state of expectancy that all things work together for good of them that love the Lord. It takes only one idea to change your current situation. It only takes one encounter with Jesus to change a lifelong problem. Amen.